So, Trans Day of Visibility, at least to me, is about the importance of things like representation, being able to be ourselves, and being able to recognize the many reasons why some people still or can't be visible these days. Today, I have the wonderful Mardi from Beyond Trans with Mardi to tell us a little bit about what this day means to her.
Hi, everybody. I'm Mardipantz, but you can call me Mardi. Hugs, cyber hugs to everybody watching on this beautiful day. It's so cool. We both started our YouTube channels on this day a year apart.
Yeah, I always
Yeah.
forget that.
Yeah. Transgender Day of Visibility. It's like I remember shaking and doing it and kind of coming out really, talking about my journey for the first time online. And that's when I decided to put it up on YouTube. Yeah. So that was 4 years ago.
So tell me, what does Trans Day of Visibility mean to you?
Yeah. I guess it's what it means to me mainly is courage, is that courage to be able to put yourself out there, like we always say. I've coined it from somebody, I don't know, it's like one of the most radical things that we can do, as persons of transgender experiences, is to just be in the world, just to be in the world and function and follow your dreams and do what you need to do. Like, just if you want to go to school, if you want to start a business or whatever, it's like that's kind of the most radical thing you can do. And to be visible, and to and that doesn't even mean like you have to, have a trans flag flapping or whatever. It's like, just to be yourself. And if somebody finds out the tea, well, oh well, if they got a problem with it, it's their problem. Because, if we're gracious guests in the world, and we're participating and living life and whatnot, it's their problem, not ours. And I found in my 59 years, 40 plus years living authentically, the more I just focused on that, it's like you just seem to automatically be protected, because people around you're just automatically surrounded by good people, whether they be cis, trans, gay, or whatever. And they got your back. So yeah, Day of Visibility is just to be your authentic self, no matter what that means for you. And even if that means living stealth or whatever, it's just like just being visible in the world. That doesn't mean that you have to be open on social media like we are and stuff. And
Yeah, kind of on that note of being stealth, I was wondering, some people choose to not be visible. Some people feel like they can't be visible for a
mhm,
variety of reasons. So I'm wondering if you
mhm.
have any words of support or encouragement, validation, love, whatever it may be, for those people who can't be out or choose not to be out or visible.
That's a great one, and that's a complex one. And I think for me, like I said, my journey started in 1977 at 15. So, of course, like figuring it all out, and that whole arc that we all do is weird, no matter how you're doing it. And it's like it was all about being stealth when I was a kid, because without being living stealth, like your chances of survival in the world was slim, because it was, especially in the types of work that we had to do to survive back then. So things are different today, and I always say suffering is optional today. So it's like we have the opportunity to be, you can be more comfortable today. But if you feel like you have to still be stealth, because I do get a lot of younger people that privately message me from watching my channel, and they say that they'd love to participate but they can't. They transitioned in childhood, and it doesn't feel safe for them, because they see what's on social media. They see the slag we get. It's like, I get invaded by trolls. There's like cycles of hate and weirdness that goes on. So I don't blame them. And I've lived stealth several times throughout my life. I only came out on social media 8 years ago. It was about 2014, so actually 7 years ago, because I realized that a lot of my friends didn't know, and I was starting to connect with a lot of people online that were being visible, and a lot of people were questioning me, why am I putting out this content? And I had to tell them, and I did lose some people, some friends, and or acquaintances and whatnot. And I think that goes with the territory. But my heart goes out to anybody that's going through those different transitions. But I think one piece of advice that I would say as a 59-year-old woman of trans experience is that I think we go through, a lot of us go through cycles of that stealth and kind of test the waters with different communities and stuff, and then all of a sudden ghost the whole community and move or whatever. I think that's very common for us until we feel comfortable, because the world ain't there yet. The world ain't there yet. And so just do what you need to do, and know that you're loved and that you're understood. And and there is places where you can get that support, even if you choose to live stealth. And I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, I love that. There's
Yeah.
It's very complicated, like you're saying. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many reasons for why people are or aren't visible, and it makes sense for everybody having their own reasons. But I think that's a great point, that even if for those of us that are stealth, or those of us that just don't feel safe or comfortable for even starting our transitions yet, like there's a lot of resources out there where we can still access privately, safely. A lot of online communities is usually a place to be able to do that and still kind of remain stealth or remain in the closet and still get some of that connection.
Exactly. I love doing my Sunday live streams, because I have seen some of those stealth ones do come in, and I noticed through the name kind of flipping it around a bit, and then they tell me that they have, and it makes them feel very to be able to engage in that community online that day live. It's really neat to be able to see them interact with them, and you can tell that they're getting something there. And it's like, so there is these ways that they can start to put their toe in the water, and have that exchange. And it's nice to be able that we're able to do that today. Like, to think of this, I always say this, it's like to think of being able to do stuff like this when I was in my early 20s or something. You would think you dropped acid or something, because there's no way that there was no internet, there was no nothing. Yeah, there is so many ways to get support today without making yourself putting yourself in places to be hurt, still, in positions to be hurt. Yeah.
And just last fun, hopefully positive question. What
Sure.
is one of your favorite things about being trans?
I think one of my favorite things about being trans, and something that I always have said throughout my life. I kind of feel like I've always had an ace up my sleeve when it comes to getting to know people. For me, being a heterosexual, like I'm into men, and I'm married to a man, and it's like and so dating. Yeah, I know, it comes with its shit for sure. Oh my God, my husband's playing with the dog. Hold on, I'm recording a video.
He's not even here and he's interrupting men.
Yeah, see, talking about Ben. See, that's what you have to put up with. But anyways, but the great thing is that I think being able to tell your experience to somebody, you're not wasting any time in relationships, because you instantly know whether they're people that you can actually have a relationship with, or you know what I mean. You're not gonna you instantly know what they're made out of if tell them the skinny, right away. And I
Right.
think that's been one of my most positive things about being trans, for me, is I've always been able to, like I said, being able to know whether somebody, if I'd be able to have a relationship with them, whether it be friendship or whatever. Because I've met the most spiritual people that come off like that, because I've been studying yoga and meditation for so long. And if I can tell that they have a problem with that right away, then it's it's kind of like my ace up my sleeve. I kind of feel like a superhero that way, in the sense that it's like I'm not wasting any time. So, and I think the other part of it is, and I would never have admitted this when I was young, because it was kind of, and I'm going to say the word because I'm old, it was like tranny voodoo. Tranny voodoo to us. It's like to even think of like that you were ever had a male experience, you know what I mean? But I do, now that I'm older, and and you young ones have taught me more to embrace all of this stuff. So it's been hard, but being able to relate to that experience that I had, you know, in the body that wasn't congruent, I can it's like I can have more empathy towards that experience. And you know, when it comes to having testosterone coursing through your veins and stuff, you know, it's like it's a completely different experience to not have it. And I never really understood that until, you know, that was taken away from the equation. And I think that's one of the favorite parts of being trans, is that I feel like I've really been able to balance the male and female within myself. That's the whole goal in yoga, Kundalini philosophies and stuff. And it's kind of like we're these hardcore, kick-ass punk rock yoginis that 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 went through it in this life. I just think it's wild. I think it's really, really powerful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I can relate to all of that. The empathy, being
Yeah.
able to, not waste time on people who don't want to give us the time of day. We can figure that out quickly, and testosterone sucks.
Instantly. I know, and no, I'll never forget. Honest to God, I'll never forget waking up from the surgery, and actually, it was like I could see this energy like that was leaving me, and it was almost like something was waving by from a caboose of a train as it was leaving. It was that energetic thing that was mixed up with uh, physical part of our being that was actually leaving. And it was, for lack of a better word, a real spiritual experience. And it was just like, okay, see you later. It was like
Ta-ta.
sayonara. No wonder I was so fucking tired. You know? No wonder, it's like it made I couldn't believe it. Like I was like it was like a whole shelf of my psyche had been wiped clean.
But in a
And I
good
was
way.
and in a good way, yeah, because I never would have, I never was, that was one thing I wasn't ready for, or that I never even thought that would happen. And why I realize now in hindsight is because if I actually had focused on that, it's like I would never have made it. I would never have made it, because it's such a hard journey. And it was so hard. It was a hard journey for me, being a woman that needed to have of trans experience, that needed to have that surgery. I couldn't even allow myself to think about it, you know, because it's so hard. It would it would kind of make you fall, I guess would fall into depression or something. But like
Yeah.
but when once I woke up, it was like this, it's like this 100-pound knapsack was taken off of me. It was just so refreshing and wonderful. So that's one of the best things of being, like, for me, post-op SRS trans type of thing. But when it comes to the not having to do with surgeries, just trans itself, I think our being trans allows us to see people for who they are right away, or where they're at in their evolution, like immediately. And so you don't have to waste any time.
Well, thank you so much, Marty. This has been
My
great.
pleasure, honey. I'm so proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Giving such great um, guidance and content out to the world. And we're lucky to have you doing this. Thank you. Continue to do it. You're helping so many people. Everybody out there, just happy Transgender Day of Visibility. And there's so many layers of that, you know, of being visible. And you don't have to like throw yourself on YouTube and go blah, unless you want to, type of thing. But it's like we said at the beginning, like just just participating in the world and following your own hopes and dreams, and keeping that GPS of yours pointed to joy, and what you want to do in life, and following that is one of the most radical things we can do as people of trans experience, because we belong, and that's that. And if we're just minding our own P's and Q's and being that gracious guest in the world, we're invincible.
Can't say it better myself. Happy TDOV to everyone, and I love you all. Tipsy loves you all too, wherever she is. Bye.
Bye.